What is up, everyone? I'm Scratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Etheria restart video. Guys, today I want to talk about the new event, basically to kind of like share some tips with you on what gear you should prioritize. Sorry, I went to the wrong tab. What is the event tab? Right here. And I'm talking about the module Forge. Before we dive into that, I just want to give a massive shout out to Etheria Restart for sponsoring today's video. If you want to try out the game, click on the link in the description down below and come and join me in Etheria Restart. Basically, guys, this is a pretty awesome event because you're going to be able to select a piece of gear. Actually, two of them. One from the left side, one from the right side. And we're going to talk about what gear sets we should forge in here, because that's very important. You don't want to go and just basically do some random sets that you can just acquire all the time. It's a lot of stuff happening with it. So you want to make sure you're basically getting the best value out of the event. Now, in order to get a currency required, you need to go basically to do thresholds. So you got to farm dungeons in order to acquire this. From what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem to be a cap on how much you can farm. It's basically giving you 20 of the energy shard per run. So I've done 7 runs right here. I have 140 universal currency at the moment. That's basically what you can expect. But I've seen pretty much nothing in terms of the cap, how much we can farm daily or during the event or anything like that, right? So we should be able to get quite a bit of it. Literally quite a bit of it. Let's start with the left piece. And before we talk about any pieces, let's start with what you should not be doing. I would not pick pieces from 8-piece sets. The main reason for it, you can still use 2-piece sets, so your chance to get something better from that is much, much higher. And I'm talking about immunity, I'm talking about harvest, which probably nobody will pick, but I'm talking about all of these sets that will basically come in 2 pieces as well as useful, right? So Kenai is a very good set, but you need 12 pieces. So I'm probably leaning towards Kenai on my account, but we're going to get to it in a second. There are a lot of sets that come in 8-piece, right? So for example, we have Fury. The Fury is an 8-piece set, which means that if you use Matrix Effect on your shell 3 pieces, you use another 3-piece piece from your gear, but then you can use the 2-piece Matrix Effect as well. And the thing with them is that is a much higher chance for you to get something better from this, because all of these pieces that you would sell from other sets, they become useful for these specific sets, right? And it's the same for immunity and many other sets. I'm not going to go through all of them because you guys know exactly what I'm trying to say. The whole idea is you want to prioritize the gear sets that are very important at the moment. Now, I think going for a Bloodbath, if you're really into PvP, is definitely a good thing. If not, you can definitely consider in going in for Swift Rush, okay? Now, on the right side, most likely I would go for a damage piece, but we're going to get to it in a second. On the left side, where you can basically select the pieces, right? You can select the set. So let's just say we're selecting speed, right? And you can select which one of them. Now, each one of these pieces will have specific stats that you can get on them. So, for example, at the top, you can get speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack. On the middle one, you can get speed, crit rate, crit damage, HP percentage. If I remember it correctly, you cannot get accuracy on it. On the bottom piece, the ring, you cannot get crit damage, you cannot get attack percentage, and I think you cannot get there are some other stats that you cannot get, but I can't remember them all from the top of my head right now. So from these pieces, if you're going for something that you kind of like want to either use on damage, either on support, like if you're going for a Swift Rush, you're going to want to try and get as much speed as possible. Now, if you're getting some HP percentage next to it, that's great. But you cannot get accuracy here. So going for a ring or a helmet or whatever mask, you're going to be able to get speed and accuracy. Usually, most of the characters that you're building super fast, they will require that accuracy, right? So I think it's better to go for one or the other. The easiest way for you guys to decide on what pieces you are forging is basically go and look at your account. Go and see what pieces you need the most, okay? So for example, just select, let's just say you're going Swift or you're going Bloodbath. You go to attributes. You want to have as much speed as possible, right? You go to that, you go to levels, you put the speed right here, and it will show you all of the highest speed that you have on the gear. Which means that, like this, you're going to be able to see, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to forge a different piece because let's just assume that here we are good with the speed, even though I'm not. So for my case right here, doing a mask, a helmet, is definitely the wisest choice to try and get a high speed if that's what I'm aiming to do. Regardless if it's a Bloodbath, regardless if it's a Swift. Then you can look at these pieces. Okay, how do I look with the speed here? Okay, I have a 13 speed on the Bloodbath. I have a 12 on the Swift Rush. Which one has the highest chance to give me the highest possible upgrade? Okay. And that's how you decide what piece you're forging. I wouldn't go to tell you, go and do one of the transistors. Go and do one of the rings. Just because that's the best thing you can do. There isn't such a thing. The best thing you can do is check your account. See first what gear set you're going to do. And check which piece is the weakest that you have available from the sets that you're pairing on a character. Have a build in mind, right? Like maybe you want to do a Bloodbath character, right? For PvP. See what you're missing from the left side and forge that piece. Then, if we're talking about the right side, now you have a couple of different options in here as well. And I would personally prioritize getting something for damage dealers rather than something else. But I know for a fact that a lot of you guys might be looking to get maybe an amazing HP percentage or a defense percentage Bloodbath piece. Or heck, a lot of you guys will be looking to get a freaking accuracy Swift Rush with a lot of speed on it. That's something that a lot of us do not have on the account. I have one with 6 speed from Swift. But that's it. 6 is the highest on an accuracy one. So that could potentially be a huge upgrade for me. The good thing about this event is that it's going to come back every freaking month. Now, one thing is I would go for damage. For damage sets. So I would probably look at Kenai or Momentum. Not the other sets, okay? Probably Kenai, because that's, if I remember correctly, the weakest thing that I have on my account in terms of having good stats, substats. And I'm going to go for an attack substat, of course. Then you go to the next step. And the whole idea here is that you can basically try and lock the substats. Now, the whole idea, once again, is that you cannot actually just select it. It's going to be random. So you got to reconfigure and reconfigure and reconfigure till you're getting what you want. Now you can go for crit rate, you can go for crit damage, you can go for any of those things, okay? Personally, I'm still not going to pick any of these pieces. In fact, I'm quickly going to have a look to see how my gear looks like, okay? So if I have good Kenai pieces and momentum, I'm not going to stress too much about them, right? So we're going to see right here. What do I have right here? So I have an attack one from Kenai, speed, crit rate. That's a good piece. No crit damage, but I can live without it. Decentish attack, that one. I have crit rate with speed, crit damage, no attack percentage on it. Attack with speed, crit rate, and crit damage. Actually, Kenai is the better piece, the better set that I have available, not the worst. Momentum was not as great. Okay, momentum was the one that was not as great. This is a good crit rate one. Attack, crit damage, no speed rolled on it, but that's fine. This is a pretty good one as well. So honestly, looking at the pieces that I have, they're not perfect, okay? But I feel like I can definitely live with what I have at the moment, okay? They're definitely not bad whatsoever. So that will kind of like, in a way or another, make my life a bit easier. Because if we're looking at this, for example, so let's just go Swift Rush. And if we're looking, I cannot look for the accuracy ones right here. Mine look like this, okay? So I think the wisest choice for my account, at least this time around, is to go for a good accuracy one. I have this as the highest, which is really not that great. I have a few different ones that roll better, but all of the accuracy ones are pretty damn trash on my account, okay? So that being said, the first pick for me, based on my account, this is going to be very universal, based on what you have on your account. So I'm going to reselect the module, and it seems like in order to do that, I actually need to confirm it by consuming 100 materials. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back right here. I'm going to go with Swift, and I'm going to go with effect accuracy as the main. Now, this is actually already a pretty damn good piece. I have speed, I have HP, a defense percentage would have been awesome, but I'm going to lock this one. I'm going to lock this one. And now, if I want to reconfigure the other stats, which is the HP and the defense, I would need to use 400 of this currency, okay? That's the only way how I'm going to be able to do it. Now, the main thing is that rolling the gear is still going to be a lot of freaking RNG, okay? You're not going to be able to get it perfect. So, it's a high risk if I'm getting a piece like this. Okay, that's the only downside with what I'm picking. If I would go for a attack piece, I don't care if I'm rolling double crit damage, double speed, or flat attack. I mean, flat attack won't be ideal, but I won't care so much of what I'm rolling from there, right? Because all of the stats would be nice. But if I'm going for a piece like this, I need to basically be like, speed, 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 speed. If I'm not hitting that speed, this is not going to be a very nice piece, and I feel like I kind of like wasted the whole thing. So you see, while I'm doing this, I kind of like realized that, okay, this can have a huge downside if I pick this piece, right? But the whole idea is pick based on your account. Ignore what everybody else is telling you, because each account has different things. Each player has different priorities. And of course, not everybody wants to get Bloodbath for PvP. Not everybody wants to get Swift Rush because they might have it. Maybe you're looking to get Kenai, Momentum. But these 4 sets are the sets that you should be prioritizing. I don't think anything else comes anywhere close to this in terms of importance, okay? So that's my advice to you guys. Let me know in the comments down below with what pieces you're deciding to go. I will have to think a bit about this Swift piece, because it's a massive downside if I'm gonna do what I've just said, right? Because if it doesn't roll me speed, I've just wasted the entire event. If I go with a damage piece, it doesn't matter what it rolls, because that's still gonna be good. If I go with a Bloodbath piece as well, and it rolls bad, it doesn't roll on the speed or the other stat that I need, once again, that's not gonna be a great piece. And I probably already have some available on my account that are not great. Like, you can go and pick an HP. Let me just go on the animals because it's easier to use the filters. You go, for example, with Bloodbath. You go right there, then you put HP or defense. Let's just say you want to go for a defense, right? This is a decent piece. I could use a better one that rolls more speed, but it's going to be the same story. What if it doesn't roll the speed? What if it rolls into everything else but speed, right? That's really not going to be good. What the heck? I have no HP bonus from Bloodbath. That's no way. Okay, maybe that's what I should do to try and get a better one. So I'll have to think a little bit about mine too, because you need to take into consideration all of the things that can potentially go wrong, right? Like, if you're wasting the event because you're not going to roll the speed on it, that's really going to suck, right? I really need to do a gear cleanse on my account because I have such a freaking mess. But I'm going to get more currency. I'll think about it too. You really need to analyze your account and then decide what you're going for. As simple as that. But those are the 4 sets I would recommend you to look into. Ignore all the rest, because Swift Rush will be the most universal set. If they will ever nerf the Bruiser Meta, which is going to happen because they don't like it, they've already mentioned it, maybe Bloodbath is not going to be as effective. Maybe they're going to do something to change the way Bloodbath works. Or who knows? And what are you going to do with that piece after? it might not be as important. Swift is extremely universal. So at least on the left side, keep that into consideration. That was all for this one, guys. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.